You're watching the Commissioner's Report. I'm your host, Kevin Watler, and it's time for our year in review. Commissioner George Lindsay, who represents District 1, discussed road safety, public transportation, and recognized cross-wired electrical services as a business of excellence.
Well, public safety is always an important topic. Recent events bring that to the forefront, and so it try to get the message that part of the resolution besides the infrastructure that is necessary with the sidewalks and street lights and speed limits and traffic control and all those physical assets, a very, very important element of that has to be personal responsibility, being aware of your surroundings, understanding the rules of the road, and so it's more of an awareness campaign in concert with the physical assets.
Well, one of the things the Polk TPO focuses on is how do we improve traffic safety, and I think if you go back to what Commissioner Lindsay was saying, there are limited resources. So one of the things that we try to do is we try to look at, first of all, what are the highest crash corridors throughout the county. And for example, two corridors that we identified were Rifle Range Road and Wabash Avenue. And Rifle Range Road is an example of where we identified that as a high crash corridor, determined that more lighting would be a solution, and this last fall was able to get a grant from the Florida Department of Transportation to have lighting in the Juanita area in about 4 years. But what I'm excited about is as we move into the year 2017, I think we're going to have more of a focus on community education.
We believe in the 3 E's. In engineering, we work with our partners at both the state and the county to make sure that the roadways have the proper engineering, speed limits, and if we see things that need to be corrected, we work together and try to resolve that. We also believe in education. We try to send out social media. We do spots like this. We try to make sure that the word gets out if laws have been changed or if there's a problem in an area. And finally, the third E is enforcement. Enforcement doesn't always mean tickets. I know that makes some people frown, but enforcement has to do with just bringing attention to the fact that maybe they violated something, maybe they didn't realize it, and we really try to go out there and just get the word out to people.
Lakeland Area Mass Transit was created. It's now represented by a board of directors, represented by 3 City of Lakeland commissioners and 2 county commissioners. It's my privilege to serve on this board for the last 5 years on my term as the county commissioner, and I'm currently serving as chairman. The district, also known as Citrus Connection, a marketing name to add some identity to the organization, has gone through some great growing pains over the years. Most recently, we've acquired some new buses. We've always fiscally constrained, but with the resources we have, we do a pretty credible job.
And speaking of Citrus Connection, so we do have Tom Phillips here, and he's the executive director of Citrus Connection.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me, Kevin. It's a pleasure to be here today.
Wonderful. It's great to have you here. And just tell me a little bit about your role.
Sure. So I oversee the Citrus Connection and Winter Haven Area Transit. So the County Commission chose, after the failure of the My Ride, My Roads sales tax initiative in November of 2014, to effectively merge for the betterment of the riding public, but also the taxpayers. And so I oversee the delivery of the Citrus Connection, which, as Commissioner Lindsay had said, is in the Lakeland area, and Winter Haven Area Transit, which services the other half of Polk County as well. So we're now under a consolidated umbrella. We have 186 team members that work for us, and a budget of approximately $18 million.
I invited Kim and David Little to be with us today. They're with Crosswired Electric right here in Bartow. Another small business that we're focusing on this month.
And right now we're going to show you a little feature right now on the company.
Entering into 2010, newlyweds Kim and David Little experienced the downsizing of the construction industry. David had a decision to make: either change career paths or pursue his goal to become an independent electrical contractor. In December of 2010, papers were filed for their S Corporation. As their network of contractors and repeat clients expanded slowly but surely, in 2012, Crosswired Electrical Services was recognized as Bartow's Emerging Business of the Year. By 2015, the company had developed a need for more management staff. Kim ventured out of her classroom, where she had served for 8 years as an elementary teacher, to assist with filling in the gaps such as human resources. This leap of faith was a catalyst for more expansion, as they were able to double their staff and annual sales while maintaining high-quality service. In 2016, Crosswired Electrical Services, LLC, was recognized as the best of the best electrical contractor in Polk County. Their talented team finds themselves shining yet again as they chisel away at their young business. Over the past 7 years, they have been very fortunate to see their business grow even in a depressed economy. They state, "We attribute this to God's grace and to our conservative financial approach." While it is important to forge ahead in business growth, they believe that development of leadership skills is essential to advancement both personally and professionally. David is a graduate from Bartow's leadership class, and Kim was inducted in 2016 to Bartow Leadership 2017. Community service is a large part of their business model, as it is the partnership that has allowed them the opportunity to thrive. They believe without supportive relationship, it all falls apart. They say our eager hearts are laced with caution and optimism as we work to create a business that is three-dimensional. A business with hands and feet that serve. A business that is founded on faith, fueled by passion, and funded with blood, sweat, and tears. Polk County is proud to announce Crosswired Electrical Services, LLC, as a business of excellence.
Commissioner Melanie Bell, who represents District 2, recognized Citizens Bank and Trust and Bartow Ford as businesses of excellence. She also highlighted United Way's Reading Pals program, which is a program she volunteers with.
Joining me in the studio today is District Commissioner 2 and Chairman of the Board of County Commissioners, Melanie Bell.
Glad to be here.
And our special guest, President and CEO of Citizens Bank and Trust, Greg Littleton.
Thank you, Bill.
Thank you both for joining us. Commissioner Bell, the topic today is business recognition in Polk County. We're going to start with a brief video clip that's going to set us up for the rest of the show.
Like many families in Polk County in the early 1900s, the family of Latimer Maxey was invested in the citrus industry with 70 acres of citrus grove along the south side of Lake Reedy near Frostproof. After a short stint from home, then 27-year-old Latimer returned back to the Frostproof area and invested in citrus land of his own. After selling his citrus operation, Maxey organized a new company called the Lake Reedy Packing Company. Later, the company would be renamed L.C. Maxey Incorporated. In 1920, Lat determined there was a big need for banking in the area to support the booming citrus industry, so he, along with 20 other businessmen, formed Citizens Bank of Frostproof, which we now know as Citizens Bank and Trust. For nearly 50 years, Lat's brother, John Maxey, managed the bank in downtown Frostproof, which still remains intact to this day. After John Maxey's tenure, the bank was passed down to Lat's grandchildren and remains a family bank to this day. Much has changed in the 100 years of the bank's operation. In 1998, Citizens Bank and Trust expanded its services by adding a Lake Wales and Haines City branch. In the coming years, the bank would expand its reach by acquiring other banks and opening additional offices in cities across Polk County, which now include 12 locations. Citizens Bank and Trust employees have logged over 10,000 volunteer hours and partner with many wonderful organizations, such as the Polk Museum of Art, Girls Inc., the SPCA of Florida, Meals on Wheels, Lakeland Volunteers in Medicine, and Exploration 5 Children's Museum, just to name a few. The bank's commitment to its core values and the exceptional care of its customers and neighbors has culminated in many awards and recognitions over the years, including a 3-year running Best Places to Work Award and the Ledger 2016 Best of the Best Award. We are proud to recognize Citizens Bank and Trust as one of Polk County's businesses of excellence.
1948, Bartow Ford was founded by Mr. Ernest Smith It was located on 495 and 510 East Main Street and had 12 employees. 25 years ago, Mr. Benny Robles Sr. began buying stock in Bartow Ford. At that time, Benny was a finance manager who had a vision of one day owning a dealership. In 2005, Benny's dream came true. His son, Benny Robles Jr., is also co-owner of Bartow Ford. Benny Jr. started working at Bartow Ford washing cars as a teenager and now helps his dad run the dealership. Bartow Ford sits on 30 acres and has 275 employees, 75 of whom have 10 or more years of service. Bartow Ford has been named a top 100 dealer for 20 consecutive years. They have won the President's Award 19 times for selling high volumes of vehicles and excellent customer satisfaction. Bartow Ford is known for giving back to the community in many ways. One such way is the Drive for Excellence, where high school seniors register their names each time they earn an A and have a chance to win a free car. Bartow's Winter Wonderland is a holiday event where families can come out and enjoy activities and meet Santa. Bartow Ford also donates food to the Women's Care Center for battered women and their children. Bartow Ford supports many community programs, including the Polk County Board of County Commissioners is proud to honor Bartow Ford as a business of excellence.
We're now joined by Commissioner Bell. Commissioner Bell, you brought some special guests with you. Who are they?
Well, as you know, being chairman of the board, Polk County Commissioners, it's been my initiative this year is to recognize small businesses. And I have the honor this month to recognize a wonderful business here in our community, which is Bartow Ford. And I have brought the chairman of the board and also president of the board, I believe, Benny Robles, and his son, Benny Robles Jr.
Welcome.
Good to be here. Good to be here.
Excellent. So first, introduce yourself a little bit. Tell me about yourself.
Well, my name is Benny Robles Sr., and I've been at Bartow Ford for 39 years. It's going to be 40 years in October. And I started as a finance manager, and through a period of time, I got promoted to general sales manager, general manager, and I started buying stock from Ernest Smith over a period of time until I became the sole owner with two other partners.
Commissioner Bill Braswell, who represents District 3, started the year off as a newcomer to government. We got to know about his life before politics, talked about public safety, the county budget, and also recycling.
Grew up here in Bartow, right over on Stewart Street. Lived here all my life and went to school here, went up to what was then Polk Community College and off to University of Florida in Gainesville.
And what did you study over at UF?
I got a degree in agronomy, which is basically farmers' plant science.
Farmers. So, why did you choose that as your degree?
Back in those days, citrus was really going great, and ag was a good field to be in. It seemed like a good choice at the time, and so I pursued it.
And I believe right after that, you spent some time in the Air Force?
Yeah, I made the logical transition to become a pilot in the Air Force.
So tell me about some of your Air Force experience.
It was all a blast. It was the best thing I ever did. I loved every minute of it. I spent about 8 years on active duty. I was in Texas for pilot training, stuck around there a little bit. Then I went up to Scott Air Force Base, Illinois, flew C-9s, which is just basically an airline DC-9 configured as a hospital. And our mission was moving patients all over the world. And the real reason I went in the Air Force was to see the world, and it certainly gave me the opportunity to do it.
You decided to bring on the fire chief for Polk County Fire Rescue, Anthony Stravino. Why did you decide to bring him on on the show?
Well, public safety is our #1 concern at the County Commission. We have some shortcomings, some deficits, some needs. He'd be the person who could talk about it most expertly, and that's why I asked him to come on.
Wonderful. So, Tony Stravino, welcome.
Thank you.
So tell me a little bit about yourself.
I was born and raised on Long Island, New York, and moved to Florida in 1974. Became a firefighter in 1978, and worked my way up through the ranks in various departments, and spent 40 years, starting my 40th year this March in the fire service. became a firefighter in 1978 and a paramedic in 1979. So it's been a long time.
Wow, that's quite some time. That's before I was born, Chief.
Thank you.
Well, apparently we do have a few little issues at the stations, nothing for the public to be concerned about, but at the same time we need some things happening within the fire service. One of them is we need more stations. So I want to highlight that topic.
Well, the County Commission a few months ago decided to hire a consultant, Fitch & Associates, to look at a long-range plan for fire rescue services. When the economy took a tank in approximately 2008, we had some issues with fire service that required some expansion. Although the economy was in a bad way, the service delivery required more service, more fire stations, more trucks, more equipment, and there wasn't enough funding to do that. So we stole from Peter to pay Paul, took people off of fire trucks, and made some decisions that were right at the time but now need to be corrected. Along the way, there are some fire stations that are in fairly bad shape, that were original volunteer stations from the early 70s, some in the 60s, that need to be replaced. So we're looking for a master plan to kind of have a plan to give to the County Commission to address those needs.
Commissioner Bill Braswell is here, as well as the Director of the Budget Office here in Polk County, Todd Bonds. Welcome to the show, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Hello.
So, Commissioner, why do you want to highlight this topic?
Well, I think it's really important that the people in Polk County know that the County Commission, the County Manager, we spend tax money like it's our money, and it is our money. But Polk County, I think, has gotten itself in a great position financially, not because we throw money away, but we spend it only on what we think government needs to spend money on.
And Todd, your office is kind of one of those that's quite responsible for the whole budget overall.
Yes, that basically the Budget and Management Services Division, and we are responsible for coordinating the budget, processing it through the years, and basically ensuring that we're following state statute and following the laws and regulations that are out there for the budget.
And from what I understand, the county is doing much better at spending the tax dollars that we receive.
Well, I think so. I mean, you know, we look at, is this something government should pay for? And if it is, we do it, but we do it with an eye on saving money. And we don't, I've been totally impressed since I've been here with how the county is very reluctant to spend money on things that, you know, you don't really need. And I think we're doing a great job.
Two benefits from recycling: the economic part of it and the environmental part of it.
Sure.
Let's talk about that.
And there's a lot of misunderstanding about what's good and what's economic and what makes sense and what doesn't make sense. And unfortunately, I think a lot of people, it becomes an emotional issue. And once you get emotionally attached to something, it's hard to listen to reason. And that's kind of what we run into here. Recycling is not the way it used to be. There was a time that you know, you separated everything into different bags or whatever and took it out to the curb and it was recycled. Then we went to single stream recycling, which is basically what we've been doing. You got the big can, you just dump it all in there, and somehow recycling ferries sort it all out and make it all profitable. And that's not the way it works. What's happened in the last year to 18 months, up until then, China was, they consumed half of the world's recyclables. Whether it was plastic, glass, whatever, they bought it all. And they made the decision 18 months ago to stop doing that. And once they did that, the economics all changed in the recycling business.
Commissioner Todd Dantzler, who represents District 4, highlights the Miss Florida pageant, recognized Tucker Paving as a business of excellence. And welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's good to be here, Kevin. Thanks for having us.
So, the Miss Florida pageant, why is it in Polk County?
It's in Polk County for a couple of reasons. It's a good thing to have here. Their executive director, Mary Sullivan, who I met a couple of years ago at another pageant, said she wanted to bring it back to Polk County. She's a Lakeland girl, went to high school here in Lakeland, and she wanted to bring the pageant back to Lakeland and Polk County. She was having some trouble getting some meetings. I was able to set up some meetings, and throughout the meetings, I'm discovering that we're booking a whole lot of hotel rooms, a whole lot of restaurants, so it's a huge economic driver for Polk County. During the slowest time of the years for hotels during the summer, and you had a big contingent with you, didn't you?
I did. Even finals night, not including my family, had over 40 people in attendance. So that's what it's all about, is, you know, bringing those people into Lakeland.
And they didn't all stay in one room, so they booked a bunch of hotel rooms. They had a bunch of different restaurants. So the multiplier effect of just Courtney's family and friends, and you multiply that by 40 or 50 other girls, and then the Miss
50
Florida.
with the Miss, and then even our teams sometimes can get up to 30, 40 contestants as well. So their families, their friends, they all come from all across the state, right here in the heart of Florida, right here in Lakeland.
And you had the little prince and princesses.
Yes, and our princess and princesses, most girls have between
hilarious.
1 to 5, and that's their families as well. So, you know, we bring not only a lot of girls, but we bring our communities from all across
And the
state.
production crew came out of Monroe, Louisiana, so there was professional production. It was a production that rivaled anything that you'd see on TV.
Our choreographer is from New York. She's a Broadway choreographer, and so the show is handled truly professionally, and it's a Broadway show.
It is, and it moves. It moves. There's not a lot of downtime. I mean, you keep going right on through the program. So it's, as a person who grew up with all brothers and didn't do the pageant scene, my daughter didn't do it.
You missed out.
I obviously missed out because
welcome.
it was a night of a lot of entertainment. I mean, a lot of positive activity, and you know, got to see Courtney crowned that night, and she and I become friends over the last 6-7 months. So.
Wonderful. So, it's Courtney, tell me a little bit about yourself. Obviously, you're not exactly from Polk County.
Not originally from Polk County, but as Miss Florida, I have moved to Polk County. I live in downtown Lakeland at No Bay, and that is fully because of a sponsorship from Broadway Apartments. So I'm very grateful for having the opportunity to live here, but not originally from here. From Stark, Florida. It's between Jacksonville and Gainesville. Grew up there on Kingsley Lake my entire life, and then I went off to the University of Central Florida for college when I was about 18 years old. And then now I'm currently working on my master's. So I lived in Orlando for 5 years for school, and then moved here to Lakeland for this amazing job.
Welcome to the show, Commissioner.
Thank you, Kevin. It's a pleasure to be here today, and appreciate the opportunity.
No problem. So you brought a special guest today. Who is this guest, and why is this person here?
This is Chip Tucker with Tucker Paving, a family friend and a friend of mine for a long time. And his business is Tucker Paving out of Winter Haven. And just wanted to kind of let him talk a little bit about his business and what he does in the community and how his business has grown and prospered over the years.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So, right before we get into knowing you, your company, everything like that, we have prepared a video, and we're going to take a look at that. And right after this video, we'll have more conversation.
In 1960, brothers Larry and Doc Tucker founded Tucker Construction and Engineering and started building residential homes in Polk County. By the mid-60s, the brothers were building commercial projects. In the early 70s, the brothers founded Tucker Carpets. This business was managed by Larry's brother-in-law, Jerry Caldwell, who later became a partner in the business. Chip Tucker and father Larry Tucker founded Tucker Paving in 1995. A full-service site utility and paving company. Since then, they have had the opportunity to develop theme parks, school board projects, road work for Polk County, FDOT, and more. Some of their past and current projects include the Polk County Parking Garage, Ernest Smith Boulevard, Bartow Northern Connector, Chapter Health for Lakeland Hospice, PK Avenue, Lake Lena stormwater improvements for the city of Auburndale, and Lakeland Regional Medical Center parking garage. Safety has been priority number 1 at Tucker. They have recently reached a major safety milestone in which they have been recognized for over 1 million hours with no lost time accidents. They are also a recycling aggregate accepting clean concrete and asphalt debris. They also sell those recycled materials to customers. Their core values include reliability, quality, integrity, honesty, loyalty, and teamwork. They have supported and have been part of various community efforts throughout the years. Winter Haven Hospital Baycare Board member since October of 2010. Current Winter Haven Economic Development Council Board member. Current Associated Builders and Contractors State and National Board member. Past 2015 Chairman of Associated Builders and Contractors, Central Florida. Current FTBA member. Relay for Life, Southeast Guide Dogs. Polk County is proud to announce Tucker Paving Incorporated as a business of excellence.
We also spoke with Commissioner Hall throughout the year, and he represents District 5. He discussed his new 4-year term, economic development, and recognized Country Boy Pest Control as a business of excellence. What are your plans for the next 4 years? Because it's a 4-year term that you get to serve once you get reelected.
That's correct, and all those things are on anyone that's running. They're on your mind when you're going through the election process. Is if elected, how do you want to proceed? What do you want to accomplish? We accomplished quite a bit, and when I say we, I'm talking about the whole board, because I'm only 20% of the vote anytime an agenda item comes up. But we accomplished quite a bit in the first 4 years I was on the board, and look forward to accomplishing quite a bit more in the next 4 years.
Okay, we have a growing Polk County. I mean, we have Noah moving in Lakeland. We have the Orlando Magic basketball team moving. We have a lot of developments.
Yes, we do. NOAA is going to be big for Lakeland Linder, the airport out there. It is expanding, and hopefully we'll get some type of commercial service in there in the future, very near future, hopefully. And the Orlando Magic basketball team, they have their D-level, or their developmental league, that is going to be at the Lakeland Center for 5 years. So it's going to be exciting in Polk County, and we'll have professional basketball that we can go and watch. So it's going to be good.
This time of year, we have the Sun and Fun, Detroit Tigers spring training. We have Russ Mat. Tell us about it.
Wow, it's just such a huge economic impact for the citizens of Polk County. The Detroit Tigers alone, I just got the new numbers on that, and it is in excess of $130 million that is estimated to have come in from just spring training. Russ Mat baseball, it's kind of similar. It's a large economic impact. It's tourist dollars coming into the county, brings in a lot of college baseball teams from around the nation, and that's somewhere in the mid $40 million range. And then we have Sun and Fun that starts the first part of April, and that is estimated to be in the middle $50 million range. So just from basically the first part of February until the middle of April, we have approximately $200 to $250 million of economic impact from tourist dollars coming into Polk County.
That's huge. I mean, and more money that's being spent and coming into Polk County, I mean, it just helps us all out.
Oh, absolutely. As a matter of fact, there are a lot of businesses, restaurants, retail establishments that count on those dollars every year. And a lot of the restaurants that we enjoy year-round, we could not enjoy if it were not for the tourist dollars and this big economic impact.
We have Commissioner Hall on the show, and as well we also have Ron Henderson of Country Boy Pest Control. Before we get to them, we're going to actually watch a video about the Country Boy Pest Control, so have a look.
Country Boy Pest Control is a full-service pest control company that has provided pest control, lawn spraying, termite control, and other specialty services for over 27 years. Owner Ron Henderson, a lifelong resident of Polk County, is married to his wife Pam, his wife of 33 years. They have 3 children, Matt, Mike, and Marissa. Both sons work for the business, and their daughter is a student at Southeastern University. Ron is the pastor of the First Assembly Church in Eagle Lake, the city he grew up in. He also serves as a chaplain for the Polk County Sheriff's Department. Cliff's Pest Control Company gave Ron his first job in the pest control industry. After his boss, who trained him in the industry, moved out of state, he asked Ron to take over the business. At this time, the company was located in Sebring. After a year, Ron moved the office to Polk County, where he and his team worked from his home. In 2016, Country Boy Pest Control purchased their own building and property on Kayville Avenue in Auburndale. Today, Country Boy employs a staff of 13 full-time technicians who are trained and licensed by the state of Florida to handle any pest problem related to homes or businesses. Ron and both his sons are members of Certified Pest Control Operators. Ron's family serve and give on an ongoing basis to the Polk community. Polk County County is proud to award Business of Excellence to Country Boy Pest Control.